Ah, right, okay. um, Sorry, yeah. So yeah, effectively we hire out furniture to the exhibition and event and hospitality industries, covering predominantly the UK and most of Europe. We haven't branched out further afield than Europe as it stands at the moment, although
Okay.
it has been sort of like broached to us that we should like set up warehouses in places like Dubai and Saudi Arabia and places like that. But that's obviously something that potentially could happen in the future.
Mhm.
And like I mentioned on the phone call earlier, like I'd say more than sort of like 80% of our work is predominantly through like design agencies and stand builders and experiential companies. Those are the sort of companies that sort of like design and build exhibition stands for the end user, basically.
Okay. And do you have a database of those sorts of contacts already?
I do, but they're quite old. Obviously, when
Right.
all this GDPR all came in, it sort of like did sort of like affect that sort of system, to be honest with you. So
Mhm.
that is what I've been working on lately, is sort of like going through old sort of like spreadsheets that I've had saved. I mean, like some of them are like over 10 years old,
Right.
possibly
Okay.
long. Yeah. So yeah, and obviously going on to that GDPR, obviously again in the past, I've sort of like had emails back from people that are quite irate, where where have you got my email address from, and all this sort of stuff. But it
Right.
seems to go on quite quiet, that GDPR. Even, it came out and it was all like a big, oh, you can't contact people that you don't know and all this, but don't really hear about it so much these days, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people kind of misunderstand it because if you're a business reaching out to another business and your services are kind of legitimate in terms of you can provide value to the business that you're reaching out to, then
Yeah,
there's no problem with that in terms of either GDPR or PECR. Um, it's only if you're kind of sending out mass emails to consumers rather than businesses directly that it becomes an issue. Because if you're an employee of a business, you are classed as being a part of that entity, that corporate entity. So GDPR doesn't apply.
right. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, yeah. Which is a valid point, isn't it? Because obviously, I would only ever send out emails to companies that are relevant to what we do. Because
Mhm.
there's no point sending to other people that aren't. So, yeah,
Yeah,
it's just, I mean, it's only happened a couple of occasions, in all honesty. It's just like some people, obviously, why are you emailing me? And it's like, well,
there's always one, isn't there?
there's always one. There's always one, yeah. So yeah, that in a nutshell, that's what we do basically.
Okay, cool.
So, like I mentioned to you earlier, it'd be interesting to hear, because, like I say, we wouldn't approach exhibitors directly really on shows. It's
Mhm.
more the companies that design and build the stands for the end user is where our
Right,
business
understood.
lies really.
Mhm. Okay, cool. Um, so
So do you think that would be something that you could help with or not?
yeah, absolutely. Like I said to you on the phone, the spreadsheet that I was calling through is a list of exhibition services companies, because obviously that's the niche I'm targeting for my own personal business.
So obviously
So
we're listed on that spreadsheet that you're referring to.
yeah, that's right. So if I wanted to, I could have automated email campaigns running to that spreadsheet. I could have automated LinkedIn connection requests and messages going to that spreadsheet, and I probably will do within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Um,
Did I notice on your? I had a brief look at your website. Sorry, just before the meeting. Are you from the exhibition background as well? Did I read that or
I
did
am,
I?
yeah. So I used to be the exhibition sales manager for a company called B2B Events, and they
All right.
organise different shows in Africa mainly. So I was head of the Beauty West Africa show. So I got to go to Nigeria and meet the mayor of Lagos, which was quite random, but also pretty cool.
Yeah, I would
Um,
imagine. Yeah.
but yeah, it was while I was in that role that I kind of learned a lot about the industry. And through looking into AI in my own time, just because I found it so interesting, I just started to see like, holy crap, so many people's jobs could be done by AI. Even in my own role, like 80% of it, we could build AI systems that could automate most of those processes. So yeah, it just kind of went from there, really.
All right, okay. Yeah. Going on from that, obviously, I mentioned obviously we'd be interested, to reach out to design agencies and stand builders. I would also be interested to reach out to exhibition event organisers,
Okay.
obviously the companies that do organise the events, because obviously some of our work we are, which you probably heard of before in the past, we're like the official furniture supplier for. So
Right.
we
Okay.
would supply the furniture for all that show effectively.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's a market that um, we could do more in, should we say? So yeah, exhibition and event organizer companies will be another field I'll be interested to reach out to.
Yeah. Okay. Cool stuff. Well, we've got tools that basically any industry we can search for specific job titles and companies within that industry. So yeah, whether you wanted to target organizers, stand designers, even like AV suppliers, if you wanted to, maybe offer some kind of partnership where you refer people to them and they refer people to you. We can get all of that data for you, and like I say, run email campaigns, LinkedIn campaigns to it, and even the leads that you do already have in your database. We could work with those and do some kind of reactivation campaign, just seeing who's still a valid contact after all that time, and you never know what might pop up from it. Um,
Yeah,
because
well,
we've done it
that's
before for
interesting.
businesses.
You say that because obviously working through some of these spreadsheets, I found that there's an awful lot of companies, especially like since like the COVID era, they don't exist any longer.
Right, I see.
So that's quite a timely thing to try and sort of like establish that information as well.
Hmm.
Um, so I mean, how does it work then? So say if you know way down the line we moved forward with it and you got in touch with these companies, if somebody was interested, would they then like contact me? Would they, or what? How does it work?
Yeah, so we can do it in a few different ways depending on how you wanted to work things. So for some of our clients, as soon as that reply comes back in, somebody saying, yeah, this sounds interesting, like, can we have a call or can you send me more info? We just then forward that over to the company that we're working with and let them handle it from there. They might give them
Yeah.
a call, book the meeting in themselves. For some businesses that are more kind of B2C, dealing with really high volumes of leads, these are companies that we might be running like meta ad campaigns for example. Then we actually have AI chatbots that we've built that can reach out via WhatsApp or email and have conversations with these people, and you would never know that it's not a real person that you're speaking to. It's actually quite amazing. And it just asks a few qualifying questions and then is able to schedule the meeting itself by looking at your calendar availability, and it can send out the calendar invites, make sure that they accept it, and then send them reminders before the meeting. And then in some cases, for some of our clients, they ask us to call businesses ourselves and set the meeting ourselves. So you can have either myself or one of the team calling the leads for you and actually setting the appointments for you if that was what you wanted.
Right.
So
Okay.
how would you prefer to manage it, do you think?
Me personally, I would probably like to handle it myself if that's.
Hmm. Yeah,
No,
completely understandable.
don't take that offensively.
No,
Obviously, it'll
not at
be
all. Not at all.
yeah, no, it'd be it'd be good. Like if any sort of like interest was generated,
Hmm.
if you could like forward the details on to me, and then yeah, we would take it from there. I guess would be the best way.
Yeah, okay. What sort of volume of leads are you getting at the moment, and where are they coming from?
What just generally you mean, or
Yeah.
um, it's hard to say really, and where they're coming from. I mean, I don't know is the honest answer. I mean, I think it's just from like past reputation, word of
Right.
mouth. Obviously, we again, I'm not a massive social media bod, both in like business and like personally, to be honest with you. But I have
Me
sort of
neither,
like
honestly.
say again, sorry.
Me neither, honestly.
Oh right, okay, yeah. I'm not like I've never been one for like Facebook and that sort of stuff, but I do think this like LinkedIn, for example, is a pretty good business tool.
Yeah.
Obviously, I do look at it quite a lot, and I've got one of the girls on the team, she's quite good at it now. So we are starting to put content on social media platforms such as LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter and stuff like that. Which again, you can't really quantify if any leads are coming in from that. So, but on the flip side, you can't really it can't do any. Well, I say it can't do any harm. You do have to be a bit careful, don't you, that you don't sort of put any branded names in, or mention any of your customers specifically or anything, because it upsets other people. So it's yeah.
Right. Okay. Understood. Well, let me share my screen and show you one of the systems that we built, so you can see how it works.
How many guys have you got on your team, Steve? Just out of interest.
So we've got 4 now. Myself, our lead developer who builds more complex systems for us, and then 2 sales guys that help me out on that side of things.
And you're based down in London, are you?
No, so the business is registered in London, but I'm working from home in Coventry.
Oh, so you're not far away from where we are.
Oh, whereabouts are you guys?
So, well, our warehouse is in Starport on 7.
Okay.
You know it?
About 45 minutes away.
Yeah,
Maybe?
about that. Yeah, not far
Yeah.
from Kidderminster.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
so yeah, we're not far away.
Right. Let me know if you can see my screen here.
I can see it. Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. So, what we do is we set up a load of domains and mailboxes for the business. Now, with cold email, you never want to use your main domain for your company, because what
I
happens
know
is
that
after.
guy on there, by the way.
Oh, what?
Yeah, Dave, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, nice bloke.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, very nice. Yeah.
Are you working with him as like a furniture supplier then for the
Um.
stands?
Well, to be honest, he's one I would like to get more work from. In all fairness.
Okay, yeah, maybe I can introduce you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I have met him. We were at the same show over in Lisbon last September. So
Right. Okay.
yeah. Sorry to go off on a tangent there, but yeah, just thought
No,
that was
no worries.
interesting. Yeah. So yeah,
So
so that company where he works, that is the sort of companies that we need to target.
yeah, okay, good stuff. We can definitely do that. To be honest, I already have some data that would work for you that I got for my personal use, because like I say, exhibition services is the industry that I'm working with mainly at the moment.
Yeah, I
So
mean, you put. I mean, obviously, we do have a wide customer base as it stands. So I would say, obviously, there's a lot of companies on these databases that we probably already work with. So
yeah, of course. Well, if that turned out to be a problem, you could just give us a list of your current clients, and then we'd just make sure that we're not reaching out to people that you're already working with.
yeah,
We'd just remove them from that list. But yeah, when you do cold outreach via email, you never want to use your company's main domain, because after like 6 months or so, inevitably you will get flagged to spam. It's just the nature of the game, and that can damage the reputation of your main domain. So what we do is we buy up domains that are similar to your main domain, and then we create mailboxes for each of them. And you can see here, we've got loads of different email addresses and mailboxes that we can send from. And we keep it at a human level, so sending out sort of 20 emails a day in order to not get flagged again as spam, because obviously the filters, they're looking for those email addresses that are sending out huge volumes every day. So we want to make it look as human as possible. And you can see that the result of that is that we have really, really high deliverability to people's email inboxes. Like 95.7% are going to inbox, which is really, really good.
yeah,
And then we set up campaigns. So obviously in this case, because they're a stand builder, these are the shows that they told us they wanted to work.
yeah,
And you can see getting opportunities come through for each of these shows. So, people that have put meetings in. So we'd write an email sequence, would look something like this. It looks a bit messy because we use a lot of spin tax, which is basically like randomized words and sentences, again,
okay,
to help avoid the spam filters. But you can see that's what an actual email would look like.
yeah,
And just a simple 2-step sequence. And all of the responses would come through to the Unibox in here. And the AI is able to detect, based on the context of the reply, whether the person is interested or not interested, which is the green and the red lightning bolt here. And if they are interested, we can do all kinds of clever things then with automation, like we can create them as a contact in your CRM. We can set up a WhatsApp system so that you get a WhatsApp message as soon as somebody replies, so that you can get onto them straight away, because as I'm sure you know, that kind of speed to lead is really important.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can see that in the time that we've been working with them since sort of December time, we've sent out just under 10,000 emails for them, and they've had 37 meetings booked through them.
That
So yeah,
10,000, is that 10,000 companies or just 10,000
10,000
emails?
emails. So yeah, if we've got an email sequence that's got like 2 or 3 emails per contact, then that'll be included then. So it might be like, 3,000 or 4,000 unique companies that we've reached out to there.
Right, okay.
And then the same applies for the LinkedIn as well. So you can see we set up various different campaigns on here, like this one, ICE follow-up, for example.
Yeah.
And we just import a list of people's LinkedIn profiles in here, set up a sequence that looks something like this. So we would like one of their posts, wait a day, then send them an invite, then wait a couple of hours, send them a message, wait a couple of days, send them a follow-up message if there's no reply. And again, you can see acceptance rate's pretty good, 45.5%, and response rate, they had 26 replies to that campaign there from 265 leads. So yeah, it's like I said to you on the call, it's all about turning cold outreach into warm inbound leads, essentially, without you having to do any of the legwork.
Okay.
So how does all of that sound? Have you got any questions about anything I just showed you?
No, it looks very interesting, to be honest with you, and it looks obviously very relative to what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Obviously, the main question is, what I'm going to ask.
Yeah, of course, price. It's always about price.
It's all
Yeah.
about price.
Well, look, I'm a numbers guy. It has to make sense from a business perspective.
Yeah, of course.
So how many people would you be looking to reach out to, do you think, each month, would you say?
How many companies?
Yeah.
Well, in those sort of like 3 to 4 categories that I mentioned, like design agencies, stand builders, experiential companies, and exhibition organisers. I mean, how many companies are there out there in the UK? Obviously we don't know. I mean, there's got to be. I've done a pretty rough database over the last few weeks, and there's about 500 companies on there. But I know, as well as you do, there's a lot more than that out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
like I actually have more kind of accurate data on this than most people I speak to, because like I say, we're targeting similar sorts of businesses. So I know that when I put together just, from a quick search, we found about 3,400 companies of, businesses in the exhibition services industry, like your designers, your builders, those types of people.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that if we also included organisers and did a bit more of an in-depth search for you as well, we could add, an extra 1,500 onto that. So you'd probably
About 5,000-ish in total.
Yeah, I would say so. A list of about 5,000.
Yeah. Obviously, say there were 5,000 potential companies to reach out to. You wouldn't reach out to those 5,000 every month, I'm guessing. Would it be broken down from that?
We say best practice is once every 3 months, because that's enough time for things to change within the business to the point where, they might have a need now at this point. And we're not out here trying to spam people, because again, that's how you get reported as spam, and then your domains perish quicker. And also, we just don't want to be dicks to people and spam them. But Yeah, every 3 months, we'd say it's absolutely fine to send somebody a couple of emails. So the way that we'd look at doing it is we'd do 5,000 divided by 90 for 90 days. And that would mean that we were sending 55 emails a day, which honestly isn't that many compared to some of the other volumes that we're doing. So if you said that you were looking to move into the European market as well,
Well, we would be.
yeah,
So I
I'm
mean
thinking,
that's, like I mentioned, we do service exhibitions in Europe, but
mhm,
again, predominantly the work that we're doing is through UK design agency companies. We
right,
do
okay,
we do work with foreign companies, but like I say, predominantly it's UK ones. So again, in theory, whatever's in the UK, in theory, is going to be in every country in Europe as well, potentially.
yeah, and there's no reason why we couldn't reach out to multiple contacts at every company as well. Send an email to the managing director, the marketing director, marketing manager, and sales manager, um, and that way we're kind of maximizing our chances of at least starting some kind of conversation going with somebody at that business. So,
So are you sort of like, obviously, with those companies that we will be reaching out to, you will
mhm,
be able to find um, the relative contact within that company that we need to approach and get their contact details.
yeah, that's right. So, um,
I won't even ask
what
how you do that, but how do you do that?
Uh, it requires a complex system of scraping various different websites and API calls that the agent has to process. Um, it, it took us a while to figure it out, I'll say that.
Yeah,
But
I
we've got it
bet.
to the point where it works really well now. And yeah, if you just give us a list of, 5 or 6 different job titles that you want to target, if you look at who your clients are at the moment and who your contacts are currently and
Yeah,
what job titles they have, then we can build a list and find
yeah.
all of those people.
Yeah, I could do that. I mean, the ones that you just listed, they probably wouldn't be relative to what I'm looking for, like
Mhm.
your MDs and like sales managers, because they're probably doing the role that I'm trying to do, if that makes
Right, I
sense.
see. Yeah,
So I'd be more interested in like designers, project managers, um, you know,
operations
um,
managers maybe.
operation managers, producers,
Mhm.
um, the guys that basically make the decisions on like what you know on the furniture they're going to use for the exhibition stands or their events.
Yeah, okay, cool. And what does an average deal size look like for you?
An average what? Sorry,
Average deal size, your
deal
average kind of,
size.
yes, as
Honestly, it's such a wide spectrum. Like we supply furniture to an exhibition stand. Do you know what I mean by like a show scheme stand, which is just
mhm.
like literally a thin partition wall.
Yeah,
So an exhibition stand could be like 2 meters squared, or we supply to like a massive chalet and air show where there's like 4 lorries worth of furniture on there.
right, okay.
So
So
it's literally from like one table and one chair to 4 lorry loads of furniture. It's that wide a spectrum.
right, so you could be looking at like a couple of £100 or a few grand then, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, yeah. It could be anything from like I'm being serious, like 10 quid
Mhm.
up to a couple hundred grand.
Oh wow, a couple of £100, blimey.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
obviously, when we go to certain shows, obviously we're not just doing the furniture on one stand; we're doing it on multiple stands. Obviously, it's in our
Right.
benefit, especially if it's in Europe. To take more furniture
Yeah, if you're
than
already
than
going
less.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, let's say on the low end, we managed to build you a list of 5,000 contacts.
yeah,
I think we can pretty confidently say that, we'd get a reply from 1% of those at a minimum. So that's 50 right there. And then even if, and please keep in mind that I am being really, really conservative here with the numbers.
Yeah.
because I would rather under promise and over deliver. But yeah, even if, then 30 of them end up booking a meeting with you and you close, like half of them, 15 new deals, then what would that work out to be revenue wise, like 15 new clients for you?
Again, it just depends on like what their annual spend is on on furniture rental. It's
Yeah,
hard
of
to
course.
answer it accurately because it's like, I don't know. And as you know, in this industry, there's so many different variables, and it's not like a given science. And it's
Hmm.
um, you know certain companies we work with, they're literally like one-man bands.
Right,
They
okay,
could just
I
be
see.
like a design agency that work from home, and they design exhibition stands. They specify our furniture. And then, the other end of the spectrum, we're working with, massive corporation companies where they, employ 200 plus people or whatever.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
obviously, it's such a wide spectrum. It just
Yeah,
depends.
of course.
So it's really hard to answer that question. But yeah, even so, I mean, if it's 15 new leads and going on the bottom end, say if they spend per annum like 20 grand on furniture, what's that?
Yeah,
300 grand, something like that.
300 grand, yeah. Well, look, my goal, of course, is always to make sure that this makes sense because people wouldn't pay me if I wasn't providing them a return on investment. So
Yeah,
I think with those kinds of numbers, um, it would absolutely make sense because we charge a setup fee of 2,950, and then after that, it's £1,000 a month on a rolling monthly contract.
right. And
So
on a rolling month contract.
rolling monthly, yeah. So you can cancel at any time. Um,
So we're,
all,
we're,
all,
we're we're not sort of like contracted in for 12 months or
no, nothing
longer.
like that. No,
So it's 2,950 to set up,
yeah,
and then about a grand a month.
yeah, grand a month after that.
Right.
So um, all we would ask is that, at least give us 3 months after we've set it up, because obviously it takes time for the mailboxes and the domains to warm up. That's something else that we do to help avoid the spam filters, because if you just start sending out emails from a fresh domain immediately, then that's one of the signals that they look for. So we warm them up, we let them sit for 4 weeks, and kind of send AI written emails to each other, respond to the emails, flag them as not spam, mark them as important, all that kind of stuff, so that we can ensure that your emails get delivered to people's inboxes. And then obviously, we'll be continually A/B testing different campaigns, different subject lines, different offers, until we dial something in that is consistently bringing you leads week after week. But of course, that is a process. It might take us a couple of months of testing and experimenting with different email copy and subject lines before we land on something that is really working. So yeah, we would ask you not to cancel within the first few months and give us a chance. But of course, there's no obligation for you to do that because, like I say, it's a rolling monthly after the initial upfront cost.
Yeah. Right. I mean, obviously, it's food for thought, and obviously I'll have to speak with the fellow directors of the company to see if it's something that we would ever want to go down
Mm-hmm.
in the future. So that's all I can say really at this stage. But obviously, the process and what you've explained, it does seem very relevant, and potentially could be very beneficial to the business. Is that negotiable, that price you just given, or is that
Unfortunately, not.
sorry,
No.
your pet cat's
Oh,
just come out from the curtains.
oh. Hello, Harley.
Love it.
Yeah, unfortunately not. No. But like I say, we wouldn't get paid unless we provided people with a return on their investment. I'm not sure. Did I send you the video testimonial from Mark Thompson at Exhibition Walls before this
No,
meeting?
you did, yeah, yeah, and I've
Okay.
watched it, and again, yeah, it's very, yeah, no, it's interesting. It sounds good because obviously I know, um, he's a different company to us, but it's completely relative to the industry that we're in. Obviously, he supplies. It was exhibition malls basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, me casa su casa, isn't it? It's exhibition malls, we're furniture. It's the same thing. And
Yeah,
Harry explained it was quite good as well. Like because he was like, I don't know AI, you don't know AI, and that's exactly the same as me. It's so yeah, it was interesting and yeah, useful. So
yeah, because like the industry that you're in, it's pretty antiquated for a lot of companies in terms of their rate of technological adoption, shall we say. So if you could look at starting to implement AI now in its early stages, then you would be so far ahead of the competition in terms of the adoption cycle. And I don't know how much you know about AI and how much you've used it, but
nothing.
it's really okay, right. Well,
Yeah.
already the stuff that it can do is incredible. And this is the worst that it's ever going to be. It's only going to get better going forward. I mean, just to give you an example, have you heard of a company called Quooker? The
Called what? Sorry.
Called Quooker, the boiling tap company. They
Don't. Oh, I don't think I've heard of that company name. So
right,
when you
okay.
say boiling tap, do you mean like the ones in your kitchen that literally pour out boiling water?
Yeah, that's right. They advertise quite a lot on the telly. I just wondered if you might have heard of them. But
It doesn't spring to mind, but I probably have watched it, not knowing that I have watched it.
right, yeah, I get you. Okay. So yeah, we're building a system for those guys at the minute where because they get a lot of inbound emails. They're quite a big company,
Yeah.
and we've built an AI system that reads their emails, categorizes them into the different areas, whether it's a customer service email, a sales email, and then the AI looks at all of the company's data that we've put into this central knowledge base, and it creates draft emails automatically to the inbound emails that instead of their team having to sit there and type the responses out, which was taking them hours across quite a large team as well, they now just have to read through it, make sure that it's correct, and hit send on it, and it's saving them so much time. So it's not just within sales processes either. It's AI has applications across all different areas of business.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you say, it's interesting you say that again, that it's still in the early days, effectively, isn't it? This AI. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's food for thought, and it could be beneficial to be ahead of the game in terms of the competition out there, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
just interestingly, do you have you got any other furniture suppliers in the industry that you work with?
No, not at the moment, which is why I kind of want to work with you guys because it would be an interesting case study to add to the collection. But
Yeah,
it's like you say, even though we don't have any furniture suppliers exactly, we work with businesses that are very adjacent to you guys, and the systems work for them. And I'm confident that they would work for you as well.
say again. Sorry, you broke up a little bit then.
I said we work with a lot of businesses that are very adjacent to what you guys do, and the
Yeah,
systems work for them. So I'm confident that they'd work for you as well.
yeah. Well, like you say, going back to the testimonial from the guy from the exhibition walls. It's a different product, but it's the procedure and the industry is exactly the same, really.
Yeah,
And I imagine that the client base that he's looking towards is similar to our sort of like spectrum of potential customers as well, really.
yeah, exactly right. And if you just think about it as if one client could potentially be worth tens of thousands of pounds to you, then we only have to get you one, and we've paid for ourselves.
Mm.
And it just comes down to a numbers game. Then, if we're reaching out to 5, 6, 7,000 people, then I think it's probably more unlikely that we don't get you one than it is that we do, just because of the scale that we're doing it at.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's definitely interesting. Yeah. Um, yeah, like I say, obviously, I'd have to have a conversation with the other directors of the company to
Mhm.
discuss it and whatever. So But yeah, no, obviously I do appreciate, you know, the demonstration and your time, and it does sound quite interesting. And if nothing else, it would save a lot of time for me.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what what are the best next steps then? Would it help if we set up another call with the other directors and I could show them the same demo as well?
Possibly, yeah. It possibly might help, yeah.
Yeah.
Not sure when that might be. So we're approaching a bit of a busy period over the next few weeks at the moment. So,
Okay.
and my fellow directors, they are very much in and out whereas I'm in quite a lot more than those guys. So,
Hmm.
um, maybe if I get back in touch with you with some, potential times and dates, and if they wanted to see the demonstration, which I'm guessing definitely one of my fellow directors would be interested to see it, I would imagine. Will that work for you?
Yeah, yeah, that's fine by me. Are they sort of quite interested in AI? Is it something that they want to look into for the business?
Um, in all honesty, I don't know.
Okay.
um, uh, and again, from my point of view as well, I suppose it's not just like, the AI aspect of it. It's obviously what, putting it bluntly, as we all, wanting to, you know, increase revenue and,
Yeah, of course. At the end of the
improve
day, you guys
improve
don't
the
really care
business.
how it works. You just care that it gets the results, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, not in like a nasty way, but
No,
yeah,
I completely get it.
yeah. But like I say, it's one of those, it's I'm a technophobe, like, but obviously technology, the way the world is, AI is going to be, the way forward, isn't it?
Hmm. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, it's yeah, interested to move forward, I think.
Okay then, mate. Well, thanks very much for your time. I will send you over an email um, with
Yeah,
some
yeah, do that if
notes.
you can as well. That would obviously, or any information that I've got to sort of like, put in front of the other guys would be of help.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I can put together a proper proposal for you. The
Yeah, if
explaining
you
the
could put,
system, the pricing, some examples of results that we've gotten for other clients.
yeah,
I'll pop that in a PDF document and send that over to you in an email.
yeah,
And then,
if you could include like the numbers that we've sort of like talked about. I know it's obviously not down to the dot, like, but like expressing like, the sort of amount of customers that could be,
yeah,
reached. I
yeah, yeah.
think obviously that would help as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And within that amount as well, I would also do a reactivation campaign for you on your existing database because we've got tools that we can use that can verify email addresses and check whether they're still active and in use. So we could put those into a separate campaign for you and send emails and LinkedIn outreach to those guys as well.
Right. Okay. Sounds good.
All right. I'll get all of that over to you shortly. And yeah, if you just come back to me with some days and times of, when everybody else would be free, and I'm happy to quickly run through that demo again, show them how it works, and
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully save you some time first of all, and also get some leads coming in.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant.
All right, mate. Thanks
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah. Appreciate you doing it so quickly. I'm guessing you didn't expect me to say, do you want to do it this afternoon when you phoned up earlier?
No, I didn't. I have to say, you caught me by surprise. But yeah, I could squeeze you
Well,
in after the meeting I had.
it,
So
well, it's, as the saying goes, strike while the iron's hot, I guess. So yeah, I
yeah,
was li-
yeah, exactly.
I was literally looking at a spreadsheet when you phoned. So there we go. It
Oh
was like,
right, okay. It
you
was
know,
very timely then.
yeah, well, exactly like I say, yeah, right or wrong, whichever way you look at it, it could have been, or it might not have been a very, yeah, poignant phone call. So
Yeah. Well, either way, I know that
I'll
every
be
time
interested
that
to
you
see
look
that
at a,
spreadsheet that you got more details from as well.
yeah, sure, I can show you on my screen.
Right.
So this is what it looks like after we scrape the data.
Yeah.
This data we actually scraped from the Event Supplier and Services Association.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, Essa.
so yeah, they've got a list of all of their members on their website. So we scraped all of the company names and then had our systems do the research and found, uh, as many people as we could. We've got first name, last name, job title, mobile number if it's available, email address, LinkedIn profile, and the office number as well. So we can run email campaigns, LinkedIn campaigns to all of these, and of course I'm working my way through them the old-fashioned way, giving people cold calls as well.
Yeah. That interesting.
So yeah, I know that every time that you look at a spreadsheet from now on and are forced to send emails and do research the old-fashioned way, you'll at least be thinking of us.
Well, yeah, exactly. If nothing else, that's what and again, going back to, like you say, the old-fashioned way, it's still long-winded, but at least if that our company's name is, in someone's mind, hopefully it's going to be a benefit somewhere along the line.
Yeah, exactly. Because you never know when somebody's going to have a need. We've run campaigns for businesses and they've had people reach out to them, 3 months after the email was sent out, and they've just stored it in a folder somewhere. And then thought, okay, we've got this problem now. Let me have a look and see if anybody's contacted us to help, and then come back to our clients that way. So yeah, if we're sending out, 5, 6, 7,000 emails every few months, then it's definitely not going to do you any harm.
No, definitely not.
All right, mate. Well, good to speak with you. Hopefully we'll have another meeting within the next couple of weeks, and we can maybe look to work together.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Look, so I can't promise anything, but yeah, it's been interesting, so I do appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries at all. Take care, Dan. Bye.
All right, have a good weekend.
You too.
Cheers, buddy.
Hi, afternoon, Dan. You all right?
How you doing, Stevie? Okay?
Yeah, good, thank you. I can't seem to see you.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, hang on. Oh, there we go.
Ah, there he is.
That's better. I'm just going to go and grab my colleague Nick a second, okay?
Yeah, no worries.
2 seconds. It'll just be 2 seconds, mate.
All right, cool. So, what does Nick know about our discussion previously? Did you fill him in at all, or is he coming in fresh?
I did mention that we'd obviously had a video call, and Steve, Nick, Steve.
You're right.
I did sort of like explain it a little bit, but Nick's very much the same as me with the AI. It's a bit like we're aware of it, but not too, the ins and outs of it. We're not too sure on how it all works. So basically, if you could just basically do the same as what you did with myself, I guess, really, and like just treat it as fresh, like we did a couple of weeks ago. That was probably, well, both beneficial to myself and obviously to Nick as well. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have actually tweaked a couple of things since we last spoke as well, Dan, and made it even better. We actually figured out the other week how to send automated voice messages to people over LinkedIn instead of just text messages, and we've been seeing that they've been getting better response rates. So I'll give you a quick demo of the system. Let me just log in, and I'll share my screen for you.
Okay.
So Nick, what's your position at the business?
I'm a director here.
Oh, you're the director. Okay, cool. And did you found the company?
No, it's my wife's family.
Ah, I see. Right. So you kind of married into the business then?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I don't know if I mentioned Nick actually. Steve does come from an exhibition background as well, so that is right, isn't it, Steve? Yeah.
It is, yeah. I used to be the exhibition sales manager for a show called Beauty West Africa. So it was the largest beauty show in Africa, and yeah, kind of got an understanding of the events industry as a whole through that. Okay, let me know if you can see my screen here.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So, first branch of our outreach that we do is email. So we would set up loads of different domains and mailboxes similar to your main domain, and then send out automated emails to people through this system. So you can see here a couple of campaigns that we've set up for this business, Kent Business Show. And if I change the analytics here actually to show it over the last sort of 6 months. There we go. So you can see we're capable of sending out pretty high volumes of emails. Since the 1st of December, we've sent out around 18,000 emails for them. I'm not sure why that's just disappeared. It did say 18,000 there, but yeah, we don't track open rates because that can trigger the spam filters. We go off reply rates, and you see we've generated quite a few opportunities there. Not sure why it's not showing it for the last 6 months. Right, I'll go back to that page in a second, but all of the replies, they come into your unit box here, and the AI detects whether somebody's not interested or whether they are interested, depending on the context of the reply. So we can do a number of very clever things from that point on. And if they are interested, we can send them straight over to you, either via WhatsApp. We can add them directly into your CRM. We can even have the AI respond to them and try and set a meeting in your calendar. Most of our clients, they prefer to reply manually though once that lead comes in, because it's more valuable then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I said that last time, didn't I? That if anything of interest did come through, probably best for us to take over at that point.
Yeah, that's right. And personally, I still think that that's the best approach as well. But we do have some clients, especially in more kind of service-based businesses, like your roofers or your plumbers, where they're getting loads and loads of inquiries come through. This is more on the Facebook ads side of things that we do for them. But then they have a chatbot that messages the prospect on WhatsApp and asks a few qualifying questions and tries to set the appointment in that way. But yeah, for you and for most of the B2B companies, I think having a human do the follow-up is the best approach.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second part of the outreach that we do is on the LinkedIn side of things. And as I mentioned earlier, we've just figured out how to do automated voice messages to people. Now, did you even know that you could send voice messages on LinkedIn? Because I didn't until very recently.
I didn't know that, to be honest with you. No.
No, I don't think a lot of people are aware of it. And I think that's one of the reasons why the response rate has been quite good, because it's like a novelty factor. And also, if people are listening to you speak, they get a bit of a sense of who you are, what your personality is like. And it's much more personal than just a generic text message. So we'd build out a flow that looks something like this. We'd have the system visit their profile, it'd like their last post, then it'd wait a day, it'd send them a connection request, wait another day, then it'd send them a message and a voice note. They'll wait a couple more days. If they've not replied, it'd send them a follow-up message. And again, as soon as somebody replies, we can set up various other automations there to notify you straight away, add that person as a lead into your CRM. Which CRM system are you using?
Which what, sorry?
Which CRM system are you using?
Sorry, do you explain what you mean by that? Sorry.
So like a client relationship management software system. It's to keep track of everything that's going on in the business. So like inbound leads, different stages in the pipeline, keep track of deals. Is that something that you have, or have you not got one of those?
I mean, we do have like an internal computer system that we use, that basically we use it for all our quotes and all our order confirmations and invoices, and it's all connected together, and it's all like fully traceable. So that system is what we use mainly. Obviously we have like a very simple like shared Google Docs sheets that we use between the team here at Design. Apart from that, we don't use anything else really, to be honest with you.
Right, okay. So, I mean, the option, if you wanted it, we have our own system that we use to keep track of all the opportunities that we generate for some of our clients as well as my own business. So, in the conversations tab, for example, any contact that you have with one of your clients or your prospects, whether it's through LinkedIn, through email, whether they message you on Instagram or on Facebook, it will all come in here into this one central dashboard. And you can reply to everybody from here as well, instead of having to constantly switch between loads of different applications.
Right.
This is the contacts page. So anybody that kind of enters your ecosystem will be stored in here with all of their info. And you can keep track of your pipeline in here as well and see people that have booked calls, sales meetings, proposals that have been delivered, and then all the other kind of various stages that you would need to keep track of. It's a fairly new system for us. We only rolled it out a couple of weeks ago, but it's working really well so far. And there's loads of other features in here as well. I don't want to bore you with all of them, but you can do invoicing through here. You can post and schedule posts on social media through here as well, keep track of everything. And then also build out custom automations from in here too, which is something that we would do for you to make sure that you are spending as little human time as possible on those manual admin tasks. So for example, if somebody was moved from the stage in your pipeline to like closed one, we could set it up to automatically send them an invoice and a payment link and things like that, just to make everything more streamlined for you.
Right.
So on the sales side of things, could you just remind me again of what you're doing at the moment for your outreach currently?
Well, so basically, I'm sort of like going through. I mean, obviously, I've been here for a long time. That I mentioned to you before, and I'm literally going through like spreadsheets and databases that I've got on file that we've had for quite a long time. I'd imagine. I mean, I have sort of like sifted it out, and I've been like doing like Google search basically. It's quite a long-winded thing, really. So did you mention last time that we spoke that your system would get to find like the key people within like the three main sectors that I mentioned, like to get to the right people within those companies?
Yeah, that's right.
To send the emails out to initially.
Yeah, so we also offer all the data scraping side of things as part of our service as well. So you would just tell us which industries, which job titles you're looking to target people at, and we'd be able to get all of that information for you and build, these super targeted lead lists that we can send those emails out to and set up the LinkedIn sequences for as well.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned last time we spoke as well, Dan, that you already had quite a large database already of existing leads. Is that right?
Well, I mean, we have quite a big database of existing customers. Yeah.
Okay, because one of the things that we do with most of our clients is a good place to start is we run a reactivation campaign to everybody in your database. So you already have that data available. These are people that know who you are. They've heard of your company. It's a little bit warmer than just straight up cold data. So we can send out emails to those people, put those people in a LinkedIn sequence. And usually that's a pretty good way of getting some quick ROI for you. Just booking you some meetings straight away and going after those quick wins first of all. So how many contacts do you have in your system at the moment, would you say?
Don't know, probably 2,500 maybe.
You know better than me, but yeah.
Yeah, something. Don't hold me to that, but yeah, I would say in the region of that maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So
I
yeah,
think, did I mention? Did I mention last time? Like, I thought that the sectors that we would want to target would be design agencies, experiential companies, exhibition event organisers, and stand designers. I think those would be like the four main categories within our industry that we would want to sort of like target.
Yeah, absolutely. We could definitely do that for you. In fact, showing's better than telling. So let me just share my screen again here. And I'll show you just one of the bits of software that we use. It's called Apollo. And in here, you can search by job titles, industries. So if I just click out of these ones that I was doing for somebody else. And we can do it on design agencies and just see how many contacts we could get for you as just a quick demonstration. So let's see, you want to be targeting people in the UK
We do a lot of work in Europe, so
Okay, I'll put Europe in
there is
here as
that
well then.
spectrum to look at as well.
Okay, cool. Right, if I go down to industry here as well, then do design. Is it specifically design agencies, or would it just come under design?
It's exhibition stand design agencies, if that makes sense, because
Right.
there's an awful lot of like design agencies that specialise in the design of exhibition stands.
Yeah. Okay. So, do company keywords. I do exhibition stand. Design in there. Just do exhibition as well. So you can see that's brought up 13,000 contacts. Now, if you wanted to narrow that down by job title, so which job titles would you be going after?
So the ones that we would sort of like target really, in those sectors would be like designers, project managers, producers. Those are a few examples.
Okay, cool. Designer, project manager.
Yeah, like creative. Titles with creative in there, like creative director or creative lead or something like that, maybe.
Okay. So yeah, that narrows it down to 4,600.
Right.
So this is just for, bear in mind as well, this is for quite a niche category. So if you wanted to do other industries, target other specific businesses as well as exhibition stand designers, would it just be these guys that you were targeting, or do you have any other niches that you'd be looking at as well?
What, additional to the ones I've just mentioned?
Yeah.
Those look like I say, I suppose there are different categories, but yet those are the main ones that I feel from past experience would be.
Mm-hmm.
There's just like the stand builders, there's design agencies for exhibition stands, there's companies in a sector called experiential marketing that sort of deal with whole events.
Okay.
And then there's obviously exhibition organisers, event organisers.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So
yeah, there are quite a few categories.
Yeah. So I mean, if you added those guys in as well, and then from the other bits of software that we use too to scrape that data, we could probably build you quite a large lead list. Say 8 to 10,000 plus of people that would be relevant to you that we could reach out to, run email campaigns to, run LinkedIn messages to, and of course the outreach would look completely human. So I guess the way that you have to think about it is if you hired somebody to send out all those emails manually and all those LinkedIn messages manually, what kind of response rates and how much business would you be expecting to win from that level of outreach?
Well, yeah, that is a question that well, obviously, if you was employing someone fully to do that, you'd obviously want quite a hefty return, ROI back on that, wouldn't you? So
yeah.
So yeah, that's yeah. So purely all these initial emails that get sent out, it's all like AI, as it were. And then obviously, if there's any interest that comes in from any of those contacts, then it will get sent over to us to take it on from there, so to speak.
Yeah, that's right. And I just want to say as well, the initial emails that get sent out, they aren't AI written; those are still human written.
Yeah.
So we would work with you to come up with copy that you were happy with, that you felt reflected the brand. And then where the AI side of things comes into it is in personalizing those messages to the specific people. So, if having it search through people's LinkedIn, seeing that they've posted about something recently, and then mentioning that in the email, for example, so that it looks like it's not something that could have been done at scale, and then various other use cases like that, and also in the AI identification of it, whether it's a positive reply or they're not interested. And if they aren't interested, they're automatically added to a do not contact list as well, so you're always GDPR compliant.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah.
So what are your kind of thoughts on it now that you've seen a bit more of the system, and obviously you saw the proposal as well that I sent over following our last meeting?
Yeah, I've printed that off. I think I've emailed.
Yeah, I think I did go through it briefly. Yeah, it's all very interesting. It's obviously very novel to us because it's something that, like Dan says, we're aware of, but have no idea about it at all.
Right.
So it's kind of one of those, I suppose. Ultimately, there was no contract on this. Is that right? Because we're under the meeting this afternoon. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Did you say that it would be like a sum to set it up, which I think was 1950, something like that, and then it and then it's about £1,000 a month, but that there's no sort of like 6 month or 12-month signing in. We could, like, after 1 month, if it wasn't working, we could pull out, or after 3 months or whatever. It's on a rolling month, basically.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I would say give us at least a few months to experiment with the copy, do some A/B testing, find something that works for you. Because what you've got to bear in mind as well is that for the first month, while we're setting up your domains, your mailboxes, and then doing the warm-up process as well for those mailboxes, which ensures that you get delivered to inbox and not spam, that will take around 4 weeks. So I'd say, give us at least a few months. And then, after that, you're not locked into anything.
Right. Okay.
So if we were to go with it, then you wouldn't expect us to see anything really until sort of May time that's going to be tangible of use to us then, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, we could start running the LinkedIn stuff for you pretty much straight away. It's just on the email side of things that, like I say, one of the things that spam filters look for is the age of the domain. So if a brand new domain starts sending out emails, quite a few emails straight away, then it can get flagged as spam, and that's how you end up in people's junk folders. So what we do is we add them to a warm-up pool where it's essentially loads of different AI that are replying to each other and sending fake emails to one another, and they're marking the emails not as spam, they're moving them to the inbox, they're replying to them. So it's all signaling for these spam filters that these are valuable emails sent by real people. And our deliverability at the moment is 98% plus. It's really, really good. So all the emails that we're sending are going to people's inboxes.
Okay. Yeah, well, I think on that basis, we've got nothing to particularly lose on giving it a go and trialing it and see how we get on. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So to get started then, I'm going to send you a link over for the setup payment. As soon as that's done, we'll get started for you. We'll have another call, an onboarding call with you, and that's where we'll get your LinkedIn account set up and automated, and we can also kind of fill you in on what's going on the back end side of things, setting up all the domains, and then in 4 weeks' time, we'll have the emails rolling out. The emails is the stuff that we can do at scale, so that's when you'll start seeing real results come in. The LinkedIn, we're kind of capped on sending limits there a little bit in terms of making it look human, but we can add multiple accounts. So if you wanted to have your account go in, Dan's account go in, anybody else from your team as well.
I think it'd be best to have the girls in, really, wouldn't it, on the next one? It's it's above my pay grade, but the girls in the office deal with the social media and stuff like that, so it's probably something that it would be palmed onto them really to deal with. Am I right? Well, I suppose you will as well, but
in all honesty.
But the other three girls in sales would probably be brought in really on the next one. I think I can't really see as I've got an awful lot to add after this, really.
Yeah.
So I'll probably get them involved, really, I think.
Mm.
Yeah, not a problem. I mean, our whole philosophy really is that we save you time. So
Yeah.
we want to take as much of this kind of manual outreach, manual processes off you as possible and free you up to do whatever you need to do to grow the business.
Okay, great.
Right. So let me just create your.
So just sort of like rough like numbers you said a minute ago, you seem to be fairly confident that you'd be able to reach out to say 8 to 10,000 sort of potential new contacts within the industry through the
Yeah.
campaign
Within the UK.
in the UK.
Well, this is UK and Europe.
Right, okay.
UK and Europe.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. And you know, that lead list as well, it's not like it's just something that we can hit once and then that's it. It's something that we can keep going back to, because if we wait, 2-3 months after the initial wave, then nobody remembers a cold email that they got 2 months ago. So we can just kind of keep working it. And a lot of people as well, they might put your email in a folder somewhere and not get back to you, but keep it for when they do need it and then get back to you then. And we see quite a few opportunities come through that way.
Okay.
So what email address should I send this over to?
Is this for the what you're sending over?
Setup one.
Or the setup?
Yeah.
My
Send it to you.
yeah, just send it to mine, Steve. You may as well.
Yeah. Okay. And just remind me of your email address again, please, Dan.
Dan at DZINE
Yeah.
furniture.com.
Furniture.com. Okay, good stuff. But yeah, I mean, the fact that you're kind of getting on board with the AI stuff now, the industry that you're in is pretty antiquated in a lot of cases. So, a lot of companies at this point haven't really cottoned on to the fact that you can do this kind of outreach at this kind of scale at the moment. And
Yeah, well,
this
is obviously, I mean, like Nick's mentioned, and I have obviously we're aware of AI is like everywhere, but we just don't know the ins and outs of it. But yeah, like you say, it could be an opportune time to jump on it while it's not everyone is using like the system everywhere, I guess.
Yeah. Right, I've just sent that across to you now. So let me know if that comes through to you.
Yeah, it's just come through.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, it's come through. Yeah, all through. Okay.
All right, brilliant. So are you able to get that paid for me now, and then we can schedule your onboarding call for next week?
Yeah, it'll have to be forwarded onto our accounts.
Yeah,
so they'll have to authorise payments.
Ah, okay, I see. Well,
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, cool. When would you like to get your onboarding call scheduled?
When would you, from your expertise, when would you suggest would be the best time to have the next onboarding call?
Well, I don't really see any point in delaying. The sooner that we can get your mailboxes and domains purchased, warming up, then the sooner that we can start sending that email outreach. And also, like I said, the LinkedIn side of things, we can get that set up for you quite quickly. So if I have a look in my calendar here, I've got some time free. I could do either Monday morning, any
Wednesday,
time
isn't it?
before.
No, Amy.
Say again, sorry.
So it's talking about one of the girls, she doesn't work on a Monday, so
Okay, I see. Tuesday is pretty free for me.
Okay,
I think they're all on Tuesday, aren't they?
I think so. Yeah.
Let me just check.
Yeah. Nick's just going to double check that they're here
Okay.
on Tuesday.
Cool. So how many leads are you getting through each month at the moment?
It's a good question. I don't.
I think so.
Yeah, Tuesday should be okay, Dave.
Yeah, okay. If we say Tuesday afternoon at say 3.
Hang on. Actually, thinking about it. So I have to leave early on a Tuesday.
Okay.
Every Tuesday, unfortunately.
No worries. We could do Tuesday morning.
Yeah, Tuesday morning might be better if that's okay.
Yeah, I could do 10:30.
10:30. Yeah.
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 Okay, brilliant. Yeah. Send me that invite over. And then if you could just add the girls who need to be in there as well to that invite,
Yeah.
be brilliant.
Okay.
Now, on the software side of things, when we do start generating leads for you, what would you like that process to look like? Say, a new email reply comes in or somebody replies on LinkedIn. What would you like to happen from that point?
How the information gets transferred to us?
Yeah.
Purely and simply, just on an email, I think.
Yeah.
If that's possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
Okay.
I mean, obviously, everything we do here, and I'm sure it's the same everywhere. Obviously, all communications through email these days, and it's obviously it's in writing, it's pretty traceable, then, isn't it? So.
Yeah, that's right. And if you wanted access to that system that I showed you a moment ago, I could create you an account on there. It wouldn't be any extra. It'd be easy that way for us all to keep track of everything that's going on.
Which system was that?
The CRM system that I mentioned. Oh, hello, my cat's decided to pay me a visit. Go on, Tom. I'm in a meeting. Right. Yeah, so let me just share my screen again.
There's no additional cost for that, no?
No additional cost for that, because it's easier for us to keep track of that way as well. Because what system are you using at the moment? Do you know the name of it?
It's called TSS. I'm guessing you won't have done it. It's sort of like specific to like
event hire, isn't it?
Event hire, yeah, basically. So it works great for us for what we do.
Right. Okay. Okay, I see. Well, look, even if we do use our system, we can still send stuff to that one as well if you'd prefer. But like on this, for example, as soon as somebody replies to an email or a LinkedIn message, they can get added as a contact in here. We can build you out a pipeline that is specific to your business and your sales process. So you can just kind of drag and drop people in between the different stages of it. And it's nice and simple to keep track of. You get a nice clean dashboard as well where you can monitor all of the different opportunities and conversions and everything like that. So I think, considering it's no cost, it just makes sense to run everything through here if you're okay with it.
Yeah. Well, I can't see any issues with it at this stage. No.
Yeah. Okay, good stuff. Because in the future as well, if you wanted to look at more advanced AI systems, we can easily build that into your business then at that point. And, like I say, you can do automated invoicing and payment links through here as well. You can create your invoices from in here. You can integrate with various different online payment providers if you're using something like that already. It's quite easy to integrate with most of them.
Yeah,
So-
I would probably say at this stage, just keep all like the invoicing and all like the paperwork side of things that we do with the other system. But I think like it would be quite useful to like show like, you know, the like the history and flow of like how the contacts have come in and what, you know, what stage we're at with them. I think that might be quite useful.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay then. Well, how long are you thinking it's going to take with the accounts department to get that finalised?
If Dan sends it down, that probably might do it this afternoon. If not, it'll be in the morning.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. So we are all set for Tuesday then. Well, do you have any other questions or anything like that for me at this point?
Have you got anything?
No, I think we're good.
No, I don't think so at this stage, but I'm sure I'll probably think of something afterwards. But I'm guessing I can email you or ask anything at any time if needs be. Yeah,
absolutely. And yeah, I mean, well done, guys. I know probably everybody that sells something says this, but you have made a genuinely good choice here, because the way that AI is going, every business is going to have to get on board with stuff like this sooner rather than later, and you've done it sooner. So with how outdated, you know, a lot of other people in your industry are, and believe me, some of the things I've seen, you know, one of my clients, when I first started working with him, bless him, he turned up to our first call after we'd generated some email leads for him, and he'd printed them all off. He turned up with a sheaf of printed out emails. So yeah, the fact that you guys are looking at this now, you are way ahead of the curve.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thanks very much, both. Good to meet you.
Cheers, Steve.
And yeah, see you Tuesday, Dan.
Yeah, cheers, Steve.
Thank you, man.
Right.